First up, we've got Pikmin. So this guy was based off of some concept art when Pikmin 3 first came out. Originally, Alf's team had 4 members, and the 4th member was this long-headed, kind of skinny, purple-suited member with green hair that was like kind of shaggy in front of his eyes, and that was the design I loved the most. I was really excited to play as him. He didn't make the final cut, so I just decided to make my original character that guy. And if he was in Smash, the way that I would make him different is I would give him different Pikmin. I gave him Rock Pikmin and the Mushroom Pikmin. I was gonna give him a Bulborb Pikmin, but I didn't really know what it would do, so I'm thinking in total he would have Red, Yellow, Blue, Rock, and Mushroom, except unlike Alf and Olimar, to make him a little bit different, I think they would be random ordered, kind of like Olimar in Brawl, and maybe he'll have 6 instead of 3, and he'll have the Pikmin chain as his recovery, just kind of playing around with old attributes Olimar used to have. I think Rock Pikmin would be able to be thrown just as far as any other Pikmin, unlike the purple ones, and would probably do some sort of slash damage, like act as if it was a sword, and it would definitely be able to break through shields, since Rock Pikmin and Pikmin 3 were primarily made for breaking glass. And I think the Mushroom Pikmin would flower the character, give them the little lipstick flower effect. And of course, last thing is to name him. So Alf's team is Alf, Brittany, Charlie. It's kind of the alphabet, it's Brittany instead of Bravo, but I decided to call this 4th member Delta. Alright, for Rob, this is probably the one that took me the longest time to come up with. Originally, I wanted to personify a different Nintendo console. I wanted to do like a personified GameCube attachment, and then I realized I'm really bad at designing robots, so I didn't do that. Instead, I thought about how Nintendo normally does their merchandising, and I realized that I think the perfect addition to the R.O.B franchise, if you could call it that, would be something called the R.O.B Micro. So I took elements from the mini Mario characters from Mario vs. Donkey Kong, gave him that big wind-up key in the back, played with his colors a little bit, gave him more of a almost weathered Super Nintendo kind of color, and I made him more of a pink color instead of the Japanese R.O.B with the red arms, just to kind of go with that aesthetic of being the like smaller, cuter version. And so that is my addition to the R.O.B universe, R.O.B Micro. Okay, so for Animal Crossing, something that kind of bothers me about the current Animal Crossing characters, specifically Isabelle, it doesn't really feel right for her to be fighting, so I thought to myself, what kind of a role in an Animal Crossing town would make sense for somebody to fight? So I thought, how about a security guard, a town hall security guard? So with that, I realized that a lot of the main characters from especially the GameCube game, like Tom Nook and Kapp'n, they're based off of like Japanese mythical creatures, like the Tanuki and the Kappa. So I thought about making him the Koma Inu, as it's called in at least Japan. I know it's in other countries too. It's the guard lion dog creature. You've seen statues of them probably. It's what Arcanine the Pokemon is based off of, so I just thought a security guard Koma Inu was like such a cool idea. I based him primarily off of the security guards from the Glitz Pits in the Paper Mario games. That's kind of what I imagined just security guards looking like, especially in cartoons, and I just thought that this was a fun thing to do, kind of tackle the Animal Crossing design philosophy with a type of animal or mythical animal that has not been done before. These animals are in some countries, I forget which ones, but some countries they're called Foo dogs, so I decided to name him Mr. Foo. So for Megaman, I thought about the main cast of characters. You know, you got Megaman, Proto Man, Bass, Duo, and they all kind of fill a certain kind of archetype, and so I thought about, they don't really have like a character who fights with their fists, like a close combat fighter, which, you know, with the gameplay of Mega Man, that makes sense, but I thought that'd be a good idea for a character to represent the Mega Man franchise to be put in Smash, so I came up with a female robot master who could be kind of a friendly rival to Mega Man and a kind of sisterly figure to Roll. As you could see, I had a lot of trouble with the helmet design. I spent a lot of time designing, redesigning, kind of trying to figure out how to make it look good. Finally settled on something that I liked. I made her green because that was a color that wasn't really being used by the main cast of characters. And of course, I gave her an animal companion. So I was thinking, alright, well, she's already green, there's not exactly a reptile yet, so I went ahead and did a chameleon in the design philosophy of Rush or Treble, and I thought she could use, you know, if she's a close combat fighter, she could use this chameleon to reach with his tongue or use it as a cloaking device. And because in Japan, all of the main characters in Mega Man have some sort of musical reference as their name, so I decided to call her Crescendo, and her chameleon is named Lullaby. Alright guys, that's gonna do it for today's episode. Tell me in the comments who your favorite was. Tell me which franchise you're excited to see me tackle. I am gonna do all of them, including the Fighter's Pass. Until then, I'll see you guys next time.